think about it, during the week, after going to class, going to work at 2 a.m., I'm trying to stay up and trade, or I go to sleep or try to go to sleep at a decent hour and then wake up to trade at 2 a.m. That did not work for me. It got so bad at one point that I was trying to stay up and follow this regimen of 2 a.m. where I stayed up too long and I got a migraine that lasted, I want to say, at least for 10 days. And I had to go to the emergency room and get a nerve block at the base of my skull because I couldn't get rid of the migraine, but I was doing too much. And I really, at this time, I was so eager to learn how to trade. I was so dedicated. I was so passionate. And I wanted to consume everything that I could. And I wanted the best opportunities in order to take advantage of trades. And so after doing this for a little bit, I quickly figured out that, okay, I can't keep this up. This is not sustainable for me, and it's not sustainable for my lifestyle. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you are doing well. My name is Casey. I am a registered commodity trading advisor with the National Futures Association. And here on YouTube, I make videos to help aspiring or experienced traders learn how to navigate these forex streets by offering my tips and insight on the forex market. And then also I break down technical analysis here on the channel too. So I invite you to come on and to join us. But today, what I want to talk about is how I chose to become a swing trader. I get the question often, like, is swing trading hard? If this, if that. I just want to break down for you guys why I chose to be a swing trader and how you may be able to use some of that analysis process, figuring out what your trading style should be. I run a group with about 7,500 people, and I polled the group and asked what style of trader everybody was. The overwhelming majority of the people said that they were intraday traders or scalp. And it was very few people who identified as swing traders, which was really odd to me because I know the average person works a full-time job. The average person have responsibilities, have children. It's interesting to me that people are interested in scalping and intraday trading when that requires the most time consumption in order to prep and prepare and to find setups. I hate to say it like this, but really be a slave to the computer, be a slave to the charts. And I just want to encourage people to explore the idea of potentially swing trading. Now, there's nothing different between what you're doing to find your setup as a scalper, as an intraday trader, other than looking on a higher time frame for your setups. I chose to be a swing trader because I started learning how to trade in 2017, September of 2017. I think I was going into my third semester as a graduate student in a very rigorous program, and I was working full time. On top of that, I was bowling on a bowling league and then being a good active member of my community. So I was volunteering and doing different things. What I found to be the most difficult is the way that I was being taught to trade. They were encouraging us to trade like London session, and I definitely couldn't trade New York session. There was no way I was going to be able to be on the computer with my boss in the next office. I attempted to trade at 2 a.m. So we talking about I go to a 9 to 5. After that, I go to class from 6 to 9, at least 3 days a week. Then out of 1 day a week, I'm going to bowl from 7 to 10. Then I'm volunteering in between on the weekends. I'm going to church. I'm visiting my family. It was very time consuming. So you think about it, during the week, after going to class, going to work at 2 a.m., I'm trying to stay up and trade, or I go to sleep or try to go to sleep at a decent hour and then wake up to trade at 2 a.m. That did not work for me. It got so bad at one point that I was trying to stay up and follow this regimen of 2 a.m. where I stayed up too long and I got a migraine that lasted, I want to say, at least for 10 days. And I had to go to the emergency room and get a nerve block at the base of my skull because I couldn't get rid of the migraine, but I was doing too much. And I really, at this time, I was so eager to learn how to trade. I was so dedicated. I was so passionate, and I wanted to consume everything that I could. And I wanted the best opportunities in order to take advantage of trades. And so after doing this for a little bit, I quickly figured out that, okay, I can't keep this up. This is not sustainable for me, and it's not sustainable for my lifestyle. I figured out that I still wanted to trade, but I needed to figure out something that allowed me to spend a bulk of time, 1 time a week, finding setup, and then I needed to be able to simply just monitor trades throughout the week. I didn't want to be a slave to the charts. I did not want to have to, after one trade was over, I had to go find another. In order to make myself feel as though I was accomplished during the week, every day sitting down finding a setup. Before, I was trading setups that would get me like 40, 50 pips, and I was happy about it because I was finding the setups myself. But what I didn't realize is that in the analysis that I'm sitting there doing, and I'm on the charts all the time, I was only marking up from like the 4 hour. I was not doing a multiple time frame analysis. I began to explore that pathway of looking at higher time frame setups in order to capitalize on longer term trades, which was more conducive to my lifestyle. The way I run it now, what I do is I sit down on the weekend and I mark up as many charts as I can. Tell people like mark up 28 pairs and they think I'm absolutely crazy. That includes gold and that includes silver, but they think I'm crazy. I'm not saying trade all 28. That's merely impossible, especially if you're using a regulated broker. Unless you have a huge account, you're not going to be able to do that. What it does a couple things for you. It allows you to exercise your muscle. If you're marking up charts and you're marking up at least, I would say at least 10 to 15 pairs a week, it's going to strengthen your ability to be able to spot and understand what's happening in the market. I guarantee you it will. I've been doing this since 2017. It will do it. I promise you it will. For a lot of folks, that's where the success or achievement is going to be in. You putting in that work, you putting in that sweat equity, you putting in that time in order to be able to be a beast on the charts. That's how you become a beast on the charts. Boring as it might be, I wake up on the weekends and I may split it across 2 or 3 days where I sit down and I look at and I go through my charts. Will you be marking up 28 pairs every single week? Probably not. What you're going to see is that some of the pairs that you've been watching or that you've done your markup on, they're going to be playing out. So some of them will be finished, some of them won't, and then some of them will have hit the stop loss and just, you need to clear your chart off, you need to mark it over. On the weekends, that's what I do. If I'm in on a Friday night, while I'm watching my favorite crime documentary, I pull out the laptop or the iPad and I get to work. If I'm in a good mood, I might do more than a few, but normally the bulk of the work takes place on Saturday after my workout. And by Sunday, I'm either sharing with my Discord group my setups or my ideas on a few. I'm not giving y'all all my trades. I want y'all to go do some work. Or I make a video based off of a hot pair that I see and that I want to share with the community. I think for a lot of people, doing things that way will start to be beneficial for you, because what you're going to find is when you're marking up based off of a higher time frame, even 4 hour trades can last a few days to a week to 2 weeks. It can take a while to play out. You're going to find out that you're going to like the ability to be able to not be on the charts all the time searching for a setup. So in a lot of instances, what you're going to see on those shorter trades, like, yeah, you made the 40, 50 pips, you're out, you got to go look for something else. You got to do it all over again. But on the higher time frame setups that might be 200, 300, 400 pips, you will be able to trade at a lower lot size, and you'll be able to still bring in the same amount of profit that you likely would have been able to bring in on those scalps, on those intraday setups, at a lower lot size. So it's less risk. So you're protecting the capital that you built or that you deposited. You're able to add to it and compound to it over time, which ultimately is the goal. So for a lot of y'all who are frustrated in this space, who are not seeing the growth that you want to see, it's simply because you are not trading for your lifestyle. That's a quick fix. That's something that you have control over. You just have to change a few things, or your analysis is yielding you 200, 300, 400 pips each setup. And especially given what's going on or has gone on in the forex industry, and if you're working with a US regulated broker, this is going to work for your account. This is going to put you in a space where you can be at ease in trading this way. The other thing that I found when I did switch to swing trading is that I struggled with letting setups play out because I didn't fully understand how the market worked. Once you gain an understanding of how the market moves, so it doesn't just move straight up or straight down. the market moves in waves. And so a lot of times I would go through anxiety. Oh, I would be so anxious because I see this big profit in my account, and then all of a sudden I see it reduced down to 50%. It reduced 60%. Oh my God, is price turning the other way? And when in actuality, what that is doing is good for us. It creates another opportunity for us to scale into the market. You got to get comfortable with understanding what the market is doing, and then understanding that this is a chance for me to take another position in this setup. This is actually good. And instead of 200 pips, I can make 400 pips off this setup. Or instead of 200 pips, I can make 300 pips off this setup by putting in another position. What I did in order to get my mental used to seeing those rises and dips, the ebbs and the flow of the market, is I stayed in demo for a long time, or I went back to demo if I started having issues with being anxious and hopping out of a trade because I didn't see, oh, I'm scared, my profit has gone down, let me get out. I would go back to demo, and before I started taking a live account and trading swing, I stayed in demo for a long time, because you have to train your mind to be like, okay, this is temporary. This is just a pullback. I know I can get in for another position, or I just let it ride out and swing all the way through. I think that's the number one question that I probably get asked from people, besides how do you find your setups, is how do you stay in the trade? How do you stay in the trade that long? Once you start doing it, you're going to set your phone down. You're going to forget it, because life is still going on around you. You're going to get occupied with other things. You're going to free up your time to be able to go do other things. And if you work in 9 to 5, if you have children, if you have a family, if you have other responsibilities outside of trading, you're going to be like, okay, I like this. Have an honest conversation with yourself. If you are struggling in forex, if you are struggling with growing or seeing a profit in your account, be honest about your schedule, be honest about your trading style, and be honest with yourself about, is this working for me? And if it's not, then I encourage you to go ahead, take a look around the channel, look at some of the technical analysis that I do have, because if you're already able to find your setups on the lower time frame, you could do it on the higher time frame too. It does not involve too much of difference. The only thing you're gonna have to fine tune in how you enter into the market, because you can't have big, huge stop losses. Beyond that, I think you're gonna be okay. I'm glad that you watched this video, and I'll show you guys how I approach the market, how I analyze the market, and how you can do the same thing too.